Hey, what's up, Facebook folks? It's your old pal Schmucker here live from Wire and Steam, right next to the old Carsons in Warsaw on a beautiful, rainy, just blah. It sounds like we're going to get some rain for the next 4 days, so it's super duper exciting stuff. I am excited, though, to sit down here with Philip Owens. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right. A little sore today, but doing okay. I'm back to work, so
Yeah, and you said you just got in a rollover accident last Thursday?
yeah. Was hospitalized for a day, and then they released me. Got a few scratches, some bruised ribs. I was pretty lucky, you know.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm just glad I didn't have any of my kids, you know.
That's definitely a blessing. I mean, you ever want to get into those accidents with your kids. But before we get too far here, let's remind you today's video being made possible by Boggs Automotive. These folks right here, 600 Lighter Drive in Warsaw. My wife's car's there currently. So if you want to get yours there, call 574-268-6360 to schedule an appointment. And you can find them on Facebook. The link is in the description if you want to check that out too. Philip Owens, buddy, tell us a little bit about you and your story.
I'm 38 years old. I got 6 kids. Three of them I don't get to see. One's 25. I got a 19-year-old that graduated last year at Valley. He's got a baby, so I'm a grandpa. And then I got one, my 19-year-old, she's graduating this year. She's got a baby. And the funny thing about it is she had hers November the 29th. He had his December the 29th. So they're a month apart.
Yeah.
And it's something else watching the difference between how two kids are being raised, you know, in activity-wise. And then I got a 16-year-old that goes to Warsaw, and she'll be graduating in 2 years. And I have her all the time. So as far as myself, I'm divorced. Trying to get back on my feet. The economy's put a damper on a lot of people, you know, the cost of living going up, which I think it should go down if you're trying to get your economy back on track. The cost of living should be down, you know, because raising minimum wage, that's just raising the cost of living more, and it makes it rougher for people like me or people that's on disability, even Social Security. It makes it hard for people, you know, to make a living, put food on the table, especially when you don't get help from the government, whether it be food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, you know. And me being self-employed, I don't get no help, so it's a struggle battle for me. And you know, I wish that they would lower the cost of living. I mean, it would help out so many people.
It's expensive. I mean, I would be remiss if I sat here and told you that it's not. And I've been homeless myself. Lived in a hotel over here behind Papa John's.
I was staying out of camper, so I
So
just moved out the day I wrecked my car. Like I said, my truck, I rolled it. I just had the last stuff I moved out with, and had to put my dog down, and it was a rough day that day, and then ended out pretty rough. But you know,
well, I mean, the great thing about it is, as long as you're
it,
here breathing and talking to us and
yeah, a lot of people were like, "Man,
living.
I can't believe you're still you know, you're walking a couple days after it happened." And it's like, hey, man, God, and I do. I'm a firm believer of keeping a Bible in your vehicle, because when I rolled it 2 or 3 times, they said two, somebody said three, whatever it is. My Bible only moved from my floor 2 or 3 inches, because I always kept it on the center where my four-wheel drive shifter
Mm-hmm.
was. So when I went to go clean my truck out Saturday, my Bible was in the same spot, just turned a little bit and moved back a little bit, and my daughter's graduation outfit was on top of the Bible. So, I mean, I'm a firm believer of, you know, God's grace and having faith, and you know, the Bible, keep it with you everywhere. Your house, if you got bad vibes in a house, open up the Bible and solemn somewhere, and you know, just your vehicle. You know, I'm a firm believer of it, man.
I'd have to agree with you. I know we keep several, and I take mine via my phone. I always have the app on a lot.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite movie?
Man, that's a hard one. That's gonna have to be between. I like Transformers. I like Punisher, but I really like the cartoon animated cars because I'm a racer. Right now, I haven't been able to afford to race for the last 2 or 3 years because of going through a divorce and
Yep.
kids graduating and not getting any sponsors. But just the way cars, he started out as a snotty little race car and turned out to be a heart-giving person, and it was something.
Well, and then the last one in Cars 3, you get to see it go full circle where he goes from the top guy and being the rookie and being the like the legend, the seasoned professional,
Yeah,
and you got the young guy coming up. That of course there's that
young
whole
girl though. Yeah,
the whole storyline that I can't try to think of what the name of the small car was in the last one in that Cars 3. Oh
um,
jeez, if my kids were watching, they'd probably.
yeah. I know
And
you're
I
talking
can
about.
I can I can see the car.
Yeah, black one. Yeah, it just passes, blows right by him. It's like, man, it broke his heart. I think it broke his dignity more.
Was it Storm?
Yeah, yep. It was Storm number 20. Yep,
Yeah, that's right. But
that was
anyways,
that
but
was a good movie.
I did went and watched that when it first came into theater. My wife still gives me a hard time because my daughter and I we went on a Sunday afternoon. We were taking a nap about halfway through the movie, and why did I pay for the movie if you guys are just gonna sleep? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just tired, I guess. But
It's understandable the lifestyle you got. You're always on the go and all the interviews you do. I can understand being wore out.
kids wear you out too.
Yeah,
Don't ever underestimate a parent that has kids going everywhere.
yeah. That's one thing about a single parent. That's a full-time job by itself. Let
Yes, it
alone
is.
working a full-time. Because I've done it. I know what it's like to come home, have to clean and cook and take care of kids. I mean, that's a full-time job on itself. So I know what you're going through there, bub.
So what, like we've talked a little bit about in your story, but like what struggles have you faced in your life?
My biggest struggle um, has been financial, and when I was younger, deaths. There was 3 years in a row I lost everybody that meant the world to me. My godfather, I lost him to cancer. My first high school sweetheart, Megan Easterday, I lost her to cancer. Lost my
Mm-hmm.
grandma Connie to cancer. And my grandma Greenfield, which is my mom's mom, had cancer the same time my grandma Connie did. But my grandma's been in remission since '99, and she's still alive. But I lost one grandma. And I took a real struggle through that through school. Tried committing suicide a couple times. Uh, didn't really want to be around. Seemed like everywhere I went, somebody was either dying that I loved, or, you know, I was financially struggle, or everywhere somebody was fighting and arguing through the family. I couldn't get peace. So I was wrapped up to where I was just fed up with life. And it scarred some of my family, some of the things I've done. I'm not happy for it. God's got a plan for me. I don't know what it is yet, but I've tried 3 times on suicide, and then this accident I've had. And then growing up, when I was 17, I totaled out 11 cars in one year. Just being stupid, going out raising hell, and, holding her to the floor if we can take the curve or not. Are we going to roll it? Um, but yeah, I was really, really bad off when I was younger. I got kicked out my freshman year for fighting, um, and then went to adult school, got emancipated at 15 so I could get a driver's license to drive back and forth to work and then go to school. So I became an adult at a young age, helping my mom, being a single parent, raise my brother, sister, my aunt and uncle, and then taking care of my grandma when she was sick. And so it made life rough there for a while.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like you've had a pretty rough go. I mean I can remember back in high school. and even probably junior high. I mean, it's like you remember who people are. It's like when I knew who you were, I knew the name, but to say like I actually knew you, I don't. But I mean, there were so many people in our class.
I was always considered a troublemaker, but it wasn't that I was a troublemaker. I just didn't tolerate anybody picking on handicapped kids or picking on anybody else. And I didn't tolerate anybody's mouth. I was stand up, free out guy. Somebody picked on a handicapped kid, I'd punch him in the mouth, walk away. I mean, teachers wouldn't do nothing about it. They'd just turn their head. It was like, man, if you guys ain't going to do something, I will, you know. They can't defend themselves. So growing up, I was always a punisher, is the way I looked at it. That's why I said I like the movie Punisher, because I kind of relate to the guy, you know. I know what he feels when people ain't being punished for what they should be, and then the law or whatever doesn't take action. We just deal with it ourselves, you know. And it's not always the right thing to do, but sometimes it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few vigilantes. Maybe we use that term, I guess.
Yeah, that need to be gone. Yeah, yeah.
And I do think more people though need to stand up for what they believe in and for other people, and especially in like today's society, I don't think enough kids do stand up for other kids.
No. Well, and a lot of that goes back to being scared of being arrested, because regardless nowadays, if you didn't start it and you're defending somebody, you both go to jail. And if a guy's got a lot riding on a plate, he's just going to walk away and let whatever happen instead of trying to break it up, you know. And I've asked a lot of people, you know, and I've seen some videos that they've taken in like Chicago area of kids being kidnapped because they wanted to see if anybody would jump in or intervene. It took 19 times before two people would actually intervene with the kidnapping. Granted, it was a fake one, but you couldn't tell it the way they was doing it. But it was a black guy and a white guy come together, and one guy jumped out of a blazer while it was still rolling, and they was going to literally kick the crap out of the dude that had the kid. And they asked, you know, it took us 19 times for somebody to actually do something. What made you? And they was like, we don't care. You know, it's a kid, you know. And we got so much sex trafficking going on that we gotta come together as one. If not, we can't depend on the police, because by the time they get there, they're already gone or somebody's dead, you know. So we just got to start taking things in our own hand. You know, the law in Congress, Senate, they all work for us. We don't work for them. And right now they're making it to where we work for them by taking our tax dollars, jacking up the price of living, and that, you know, politics, I can go into that all day, but you know, it's just not right that you can't defend yourself or defend others without going to jail.
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of talked about dealing with the suicide and the cancer and some of the other struggles. Like what have you done, or how have you worked past, or are you working past some of that stuff?
Well, as far as the cancer and stuff, family and friends have helped me get through that with family dying and stuff. Having kids and then grandkids have really slowed me down a lot. Um, Financially, it seems like I can't ever get out of the hole. I mean, because you only make so much a day or a week, and your bills wrap up to where you can't get out of the hole, and the cost of living keeps going up more and more. And they're not understanding, just because you raise the wage up doesn't help the cost of living, because when you raise the wage, the cost of living keeps going up and up, you know. And so that's something that I'm working on, trying to get figured out, trying to get some sponsors going for a racing circuit that we've got blueprinted, and I haven't had success with that because of time wise. So I'm still working on everything. Um, but God's great, man, as far as, you know, the deaths and everything, turning to the Bible and turning to loved ones and friends, and you know, they've helped me out with a lot of that, you know. So
That's great. I mean, family and friends and turning to God's grace is always one of the things I know that's helped me through I mean, it's dealing with alcohol and whatnot. I've lost a lot of friends, and I've
Yeah.
lost a lot of family, and people have taken steps back because they had to. I didn't really leave them much of a choice. And then it's been such a blessing in my life to see people come back. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm only about 3 years removed from being about half dead, laying on a hospital bed, and there's still people that to this day won't even speak to me because they don't want to have anything to do with me, and it's tough. I mean, you kind of deal with that stuff, but God's grace is one of those things that, and realizing He's got a plan.
For everybody.
Yes, and I think that's one thing that is important to remember for everybody out there, that my plan isn't yours. Your plan isn't mine. Philip's plan isn't mine. And so often I think we're all guilty of comparing, and we see
Yep.
other people maybe succeeding or doing better, and it's like, well, why do they get to succeed and why do I not? And then we end up trying to follow somebody else's plan, and
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, it's just trying to follow somebody else's plan is it's not the way God's got the cards stacked for us. It's just not. I mean,
No.
but
Figuring out what He's got for us is what is the hardest part, And like with you being in the situation you're in, God's God's got you helping people, and maybe that's your thing, is to be helping people and getting people's word out, and as far as people being mad at you still, you know, we can't judge anybody. We're not allowed to do that. So for somebody to sit there and keep judging or holding something against you, it's not right. And that makes you a better person because you're not letting it hold you down at that level where they're at. You're doing what you got to do.
I just kind of see it that if they've got a problem, then it's theirs, not mine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've kind of let it go, and I give it up in prayer quite often, and I just move on. But so, who or what would you say inspires and encourages you?
I'd have to say my family, my mom, dad's, kids, grandkids. They're inspiring me to get this shop rolling. Because I wanna open up a full blown custom shop, and I'm working on it, and I'm just waiting for the building to come open, and then it's gonna be tails up, man. It's gonna start welding and start making some rat rods. That's my goal.
What's a I'm gonna probably show my ignorance here, but what's a rat rod?
A rat rod's an old classic that even if it's got the rust look to it, you clear coat it, you add your final touches, big tires on the back, slam to the ground, big motor in it, dual turbos. Yeah, 10 Taylor. Yeah, just old hot rods put together.
That's great, man. I'm glad you're able to find some inspiration and some encouragement and keep pushing on, man. I think that's one of the biggest things that I like about you is that no matter what life's thrown at you, you just seem to keep pushing on.
I try. I mean, I really do, but it seems like something always kicks me down another level. I mean, it's like now I had to buy another vehicle, and so I try to keep pushing, man. I need that breakthrough, and once I do, it's gonna be all over with, man. I want to be the next West Coast Custom, the next Orange County Chopper. I want to be the next, you know, Jesse James. I want to be the next guy that builds the best rods, that builds the best bikes. So that's what I'm pushing for.
That sounds like you've got a great passion for it and a great desire to do it. So, never know what the Lord's got in store for you. So, do you have any advice that you'd give, maybe that you've learned from your life experience?
Yeah, choices. Life is all about choices. The choices we make affects our living stability. If you choose to go out and do drugs, you're not going to get any better. I mean, you will with help, but it's not going to help you in that time frame. if you choose to, move forward and hit the top of the mountain, you got a good choice. Keep your mind frame going. Don't make any bad choices, because, that bad choice, it could take you 5 to 10 years of your life to get back onto the right decision. So live life simple, man. Keep everything simple, and, make good choices. And if you don't know, ask other people. Get like 4 or 5 different opinions, and then go from there. Just don't try to jump the gun. Oh, I know it all. I can do that. Try to explore other options. Because life is all about choices. So
Yeah, I like it. I mean, part of one of the reasons why I wanted to sit down with you is because you're a straight shooter. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it that you just kind of put it out there and tell it how it is.
I try. I mean, I've always been blunt my whole life. Some people said I've been, rude, and well, if you took it as me being rude or being a prick, then it was meant for you to hear it that way. Because it's not that I'm being a prick or being rude. I'm laying it out the way I gotta lay it out, that I would understand. Because not all people are real intelligent, and some people you gotta lay the ignorance to them as being rude, and or just plain out say it, shooting around the bullshit. Look what our country's got, from it. Now we got kids mainly on their tablets and, and cell phones and stuff, and it ruins the economy of the way from back in the early 1900s to all the way to the 80s before cell phones and stuff came out. Back then we had bikes, we climbed on, we went out, we was able to stay out till dark. I mean, you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can't even leave our kids out, in the daytime without being kidnapped or, something happening to them. So, yeah.
But transitioning from that to what's your favorite candy bar?
Man, I love paydays, but since I ain't got no teeth, I had to switch it up to Snickers. So,
Yeah, and you were telling me a little bit about the teeth issue and what ended up happening there, if you don't mind sharing why you ended up losing them all.
my gums didn't absorb calcium very well, and the more I brushed them, the more it wore the plaque off. So I was getting cavities, and me not having insurance at the time, it was drawing an infection in my body. The infection was causing my liver, my organs, heart, everything to shut down because of the infection going through the bloodstream. I was going to go have back surgery, and they wouldn't do the surgery till the infection was out. So they wanted to put me on dialysis, and I said, no, I'll heal it natural. And I did. I took ginger, about the size of a dime, the thickness of a dime, brewed it in water, and then I took chai tea and threw in there, and I threw a tablespoon of honey, and I drink that twice a day, every day for 30 days, and it cleaned out my bloodstream to like a 0.08%. And so I went in, had 26 teeth yanked out. Month later, I went in and had back surgery, and then 2 months later, I was back to work because bills piling up, not having no help, and the old lady, the ex-wife at the time, she was, worrying and stressing because nothing was getting paid, and we was buying our home, and so I went back to work, and I feel good now, So it's what I had to do. I had to get it done.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, for sure. What's a short term and maybe a long term goal that you have for yourself?
Short-term goal is to get me a house, get me some sponsors here this year for racing, and make sure my kid graduates, because she's only got another month, and she's working a full-time job plus raising a baby. So she's living uh, 2 different work styles plus going to school. So my goal is to make sure that she graduates short term. Long term is make this business happen, and that way I can provide jobs out there, work for other people, and help out the veterans. I wanna be able to contribute. Like 3 to 5% of my gross profit to the veterans and to churches around the area to help them out with people that's fighting PSTD, drug abuse, because PSTD, you don't have to be in the military to have PSTD. A lot of people think that you got to be a veteran or you got to have No, you can have PTSD out here just from drama that's happened at your house or physical, mental abuse, alcohol abuse, a bad accident that you've seen could throw you into PTSD. I mean, so I think that's really important to help out, with people that has that, to keep them from doing suicides and having the suicides that we have through the veterans and through our community. Because I've tried 3 times to kill myself, and I'm still here. So maybe if I can help out other people with what I've experienced, um, that's my main goal. I've hung myself, I've OD'd, I've shot myself, and I'm still here. So, uh, yeah, it's been a rough journey, and I feel what other people are going through when they go through that. I really do.
Man, that's some rough stuff. I mean, you talk about going through some of the things that you've went through. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, you hit the PTSD. I know I talked about that a little bit on Friday with my brother-in-law, who he was a Marine and on active duty. So, I mean, some of the things that he's seen, and we got talking afterwards, and it's like I wish we could have got some of that conversation down so other people could have heard, because I don't think people realize a lot of the things that they go through. And the one thing that he said that got me was that, like, once you're done, he's like, you basically just sign a paper and you're out.
Yeah, you get no help, and that's
So
wrong.
he's like, you go from this lifestyle where you're so regimented to nothing.
Yeah.
And so then you got to find a job, and if you got the PTSD, it makes it harder to get the job because people hear about it, and the employer doesn't want it to get triggered, and just different kinds of things. And I mean, it's an interesting battle.
I can relate to your brother because I grew up from 16 till I was probably 22, 23 in Gary and Hammond, Indiana. Granted, we didn't throw grenades, but we did shoot at each other. I mean, stabbed, whatever. I'm an 8th degree black belt. I've wrestled for 4 years. I boxed 5 years, but I really didn't learn how to fight till I went to Gary, Indiana, and that's because they fight 6, 7, 8 on 1, and that makes it rough. And then seeing kids laying there dead because of a gangbanger 3 blocks over shooting, I can relate to some of the things that the military sees as far as blood and what's been out. And then to come here and be in safe zone like Warsaw, which is getting bad, it's a whole different ballgame than being in the hood than it is being here.
I
You know,
think sometimes we lose track of that thought. I mean, it's not that Warsaw, Indiana is like Mayberry or anything,
yeah,
but there's such a big world outside of Warsaw, and I'm guilty of it myself, of forgetting how good that we may have it here
yeah,
compared to other people, and how much that we might be able to do to maybe help reach other people to get them out of those environments, or maybe provide a little bit of assistance and a little bit of light in somebody else's life that they so desperately need. I think.
yeah, exactly. I mean, well, it's like the gang banging. If they brought back the hanging law, if you rape, you murder, you molest, you get the rope. There is no do life in prison because what we're paying for prisoners that's doing life. If we was to hang them, that money that we use for them to get 3 meals a day, to weight lift, to, you know, we could put towards our veterans. We could put back into our community, and we it would actually, I think, would drop crime rate. I mean, people would think 3 or 4 times before they commit murder or molest or rape somebody. Oh man, if I get caught, I'm getting the rope, or if somebody shoots me, they ain't getting nothing out of it. So, and I think we should bring it back. Because taking care of people and not taking care of our own veterans that served, and then to throw them, like you was saying, throw them back to the wolves out here, because that's pretty much what we're doing. Not giving them the help they need, and then not helping them with employment. Because a lot of them, and you can ask your brother this, a lot of them that goes to get employment, some of them won't hire military personnel because of their records, or because they was a gunnery, or because they was an anti-tank operator, because of the PSTD. And I think that's wrong, you know.
Yeah, and there is some of that goes on too. That I think they're leery of what might trigger, and I don't think they want to deal with it. But I don't think that's right either. I mean, there's probably a little bit of discrimination that goes on there.
We have to help them, plain and simple. They went over there, fought for us so that we could drink coffee. I mean, we owe it to them. I mean, if I seen one suffering right now, I'd probably sit down and talk to him. If he needed a code, a meal, I'd give him my last $5. I mean, money comes and goes. I mean,
Yes, it does. So, who is, I mean, you're kind of hinting at it there, but who is Philip Owens, like in his heart? Like at your core, who are you?
I am one of the most loving people you'll ever meet, but I can also be one of the meanest people you ever meet. I mean, I look out for everybody except for myself. I get that a lot from my mom and everybody. They're like, "Why you just give him your last $10? I'll get money tomorrow, Mom. I wrench on cars for a living. I'll make money tomorrow. Well, you need to save that to get a place. God's got a plan for me, Mom. He needs it more than I do. He or my brother, will need something, and I'll help my brother or my sister, and it'd be the last in my pocket. I'll give them, and I'll go make a couple more dollars, wrenching or doing light fixtures in a house, construction. I mean, I got all the trades that a person could ever ask for, survival wise. So I'm a caring person. I give to the people that need, and I look out for myself, I guess, last, when everybody says you should look out for yourself first. So,
No, I think you got a big heart, my friend. I don't, man, I love it. What is one thing that you want people to know about you that they may not know already?
I'm not the monster everybody thinks I am. Just because I stick up for people, because I do night fights, um, doesn't mean I'm a monster. I got a big heart. I do believe in the Bible, the Word. Um, God's great. You just got to have faith, and you got to push for it and believe in His grace. Uh, Other than that, a lot of people that do know me. Everybody does change. So
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I hadn't.
yeah,
And I think once Jesus gets a hold of people, the remarkable change that can take place, taking somebody from, say, who I once was to where I am now. I mean, it's been an interesting experience to go through, but it's also a neat experience to be able to share with other people.
yeah,
And I mean, I think somebody like yourself, I mean, you got such a tremendous opportunity to be able to share with other people how far God's taken you and continues to take you. I mean, the fact that you've tried to commit suicide 3 times and are still sitting here talking to us, I think that's a tremendous blessing in and of itself. I mean, He's taken something that man intended for evil and turned it into giving you life.
yeah.
So I mean, that's a gift, my friend. And I tell you what, I appreciate you sitting down with me today. And
I know what you're doing for people. Hey guys, man, Josh right here. This guy's giving his own time to devote for people like me, and to make people out there see life. Whether you got it easier or you got it hard. This man right here, He's doing a lot for a lot of people here, and he may not realize what he's doing to help out others. May not be my story, but somebody else's story that helps a handful. That's all that matters, Bub, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
I'm just a humble guy at the end of the day, man.
About like the rest of us, though.
Sitting here in a Cubs hoodie and my Boggs Automotive hat, and that's about. I mean, I'm pretty much same guy, whether you see me on here or at home or wherever, fixing to go do some grocery shopping at Meijer after this. But today's video being made possible by Boggs Automotive at 600 Lighter Drive in Warsaw. Give them a call, 574-268-6360 to schedule your appointment, or you can find them on Facebook. The link is in the description. Philip, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me today, good brother.
Thank you very much for having me, and
certainly
I hope this takes you where you need to go. You know, I mean, you sitting here devoting time, and hey, man, if you guys can donate to this guy, help out. He's doing a tremendous for a lot of people out there. You know, just getting the word out of some other people's struggles. If you ever need a car to buy, Sparkman auction every 2 weeks, or if you need household furniture or kids' toys or exercise equipment, every 2 weeks he has an auction next weekend. Stop out there at Sparkman auction and help out as many people as you can, people, man. Helping is just the joy of life.
All right, brother, I appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be talking with Ben Irvine from True Purpose Ministries. So you want to make sure to set a reminder for that. I'll have to check my calendar to see exactly what time, but I'll put that out tomorrow morning. You can be sure to check that out too. Thanks again to Philip for sitting down and talking with us this morning. You guys have a magnificent Monday despite of the rain out there, but make the best of it and create your own sunshine. I love you guys. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.